Prior to that, anytime there's been several occasions where the band has wanted to go back and bring something from one of the earlier albums into the live set, and unfortunately, due to some circumstances, a lot of the original horn charts that Greg Adams did are no longer in the possession of the band, and so it will fall on somebody, usually one of the horn players, to do a lift, and so I was given the opportunity to do some of the lifts, and in the course of doing so, was able to actually learn some of Greg's arranging tricks for the horn section, which was pretty neat. That I was able to I wouldn't have really figured it out otherwise if I hadn't had that opportunity.
Right.
Emilio also asked me. I was the one who arranged the opening that the band is currently doing for the live set. The "We Came to Play" opener. Basically, Emilio told me he wanted me to. He told me how much of "We Came to Play" they wanted to do. He said I had carte blanche to go ahead and change licks or do something, and that was when I had the idea of transcribing the horn solo, the horn solo that Greg Adams did. I transcribed it and then arranged it for the two trumpets and the lead tenor to play it in unison, and then I arranged the Doc and Emilio as horn pads supporting that line. And then I came up with the ending for the live intro. And in Oakland Zone, when we were recording Oakland Zone, we didn't have. I didn't write any of the arrangements, but we did have pretty a good amount of creative input as far as we would get. We got a couple of arrangements from Dave Eskridge. Wrote quite a few of the arrangements on Oakland Zone, and we would get into the studio, and if there was a trumpet line because Dave's not a trumpet player, and of course Greg Adams is, so there were some lines that just didn't particularly lay well on trumpet, or it's like I kind of had an idea what Dave was going for sound-wise, but it wasn't notated exactly quite right. So Emilio gave me liberty to change some things around and to revoice a couple of the stacks here and there, but staying pretty much true to Dave's idea, Dave's inception, but just to kind of make it a little bit more reflective of the classic Tower of Power horn sound.
Got it. Right. As far as working with Adolfo, you guys basically work so well together. It's like two gears meshing, and it's really been, over the years, it's really been great to watch the two of you guys do what you do. Any interesting stories about working with Adolfo and utilizing the historic horn lines versus adding a few things like the harmony that you do in So Very Hard to Go, for one example? How you've kind of updated things a little bit here and there?
Well, let me just start off by saying that it's been a real blessing to be able to work with Adolfo for almost 11 years now, including the time we spent together on Maynard Ferguson's band. It's not too often that two trumpet players get to work together that long and that consistently. And it's funny because right from the first day that Adolfo and I played together on Maynard Ferguson's band, it was it was literally almost as tight as it is today. Between the two of us, I noticed our intonation, our pitch locked right from the get-go. We breathed the same, we phrased the same, we thought the same, we articulated the same way. I actually play a little bit more behind the beat, and so he's actually helped me out in that area quite a bit because I think he's got a better sense of time than I do, specifically when it comes to playing Tower of Power style music. But for the most part, we played together really well right away, and locked in right away. And it's not surprising. He and I listened to the same people. We were influenced by the same players. We both are students of Bobby Shew, who's a great legendary jazz and lead trumpet player. He played lead for Buddy Rich, and he's a great solo artist. and also one of the best trumpet teachers in the world today. And we were both students of Bobby, so we took a lot of what Bobby taught us and integrated it into our own playing, and it really came through in the way that we were able to lock in together early on. And as far as the specific horn lines, it's funny. The So Very Hard to Go flugelhorn duet actually came about. Emilio had asked me to transcribe from the Sheffield Lab recording. He wanted to turn the third trumpet solo in What Is Hip. He wanted two trumpets to do that. How Greg had arranged that third solo for the Sheffield Lab recordings. And so I went back and listened to the Sheffield Lab recordings and transcribed it and figured out how Greg arranged that third solo, and Adolfo and I were, started doing it. But then kind of as I guess sort of a arranging project for myself to challenge myself, I decided to take the same principles that I learned about Greg's writing from doing the What Is Hip solo and apply it to So Very Hard to Go. And originally it was just, I never really intended to do it live. I just wanted to see how it would sound. It was just kind of an experiment, a project to see if I could pull it off. And Adolfo and I did it in soundcheck one day, and with the band, and Emilio really liked it. And so he asked us if we could, he'd like to continue doing it. And so we started performing it. Unfortunately, at the time when I was doing it, like I said, I hadn't any intention of using it in the performance. I had forgotten that I was also trying to copy what Mick was doing, coming in, on that low concert F on trombone.
Right.
That one note. And so the first time we went to perform it, and in sound check, I very rarely bring my trombone to sound check. I usually only break it out for the gig. And so the first couple of performances was a real comedy routine. It was like watching a Three Stooges episode with me trying to figure out which horn I was going to juggle, and there were quite a few mistakes made, trying to get it all down, and trying to remember which horn I was supposed to put up to my face.
Well, you certainly did work it out and get it down, that's for sure.
Thanks, Brian.
All right, well,
we had footage from the first couple. It would be pretty funny.
Well, there wasn't as much YouTube video going on back then, so you were lucky there. But as far as your future plans, I guess you have mixed emotions. Any musician would, leaving a band like Tower of Power. But as far as your future plans, you're going back into the Navy, and tell us a little bit about what you're going to be doing and where you're going to be.
Well, my decision to go back in the Navy was a lot of it was personal. It's been in the back of my mind for quite a while. You invest 10 years of your life in something, and it's hard to just walk away completely and never give it any thought. And so it's sort of been coming, and kind of my long-term goals in life, I think, a lot of why I decided, because what I eventually really want to get into is teaching. I'm passionate about teaching. I love traveling around. Being with Tower has afforded me the opportunity to sort of work on my clinic skills and hone my clinic skills. And getting to work with young musicians is something that I've just in the last couple of years have become very passionate about. And unfortunately, I never finished college, and so consequently I had any teaching credentials. And so a lot of my reason for going back to the Navy is because I can take advantage of the Navy's tuition assistance program, which they have. And so that's a big part of why I'm doing this. I want to, of course, finish out my career in the Navy. I'll be able to retire in 10 years, and I'll be quite young still, well, comparatively.